Interest groups play a crucial role in influencing policy outcomes in the United States. In government and politics, understanding how these groups operate, the strategies they use, and their impact on the policymaking process is essential. Please consider subscribing to this channel to encourage better content creation and future updates. We appreciate your support in advance. What are interest groups? Interest groups are organized groups of people who share common policy goals and seek to influence public policy and government decisions. Unlike political parties, they do not run candidates for office, but instead lobby government officials to enact or block policies favorable to their interests. Types of interest groups include economic interest groups, which represent business, labor unions and trade organizations, for example, the Chamber of Commerce and AFL-CIO. Public interest groups advocate for causes affecting the general public, like the ACLU and Sierra Club. Government interest groups represent states, cities or foreign governments, such as the National Governors Association. Ideological or single-issue groups focus on specific causes like the NRA and Planned Parenthood. Lastly, professional associations represent specific professions, for instance, the American Medical Association and American Bar Association. Interest groups use various methods to influence policy outcomes. Lobbying, direct lobbying. Interest groups directly contact lawmakers, executive officials or bureaucrats to advocate for policy. Grassroots lobbying, mobilizing the public to contact representatives and push for legislative action, revolving door influence. Many former government officials become lobbyists, using their connections to sway policy. Electioneering and political contributions. Endorsing candidates' interest groups publicly support candidates who align with their views. Political action committees or PACs raise and donate money to campaigns. Super PACs and dark money, unlimited fundraising and spending to influence elections, often through issue ads. Bundling, collecting donations from multiple individuals to maximize influence. Let's delve into litigation and public opinion. First, litigation. Filing lawsuits is a common strategy where groups take legal action to challenge laws or regulations. A notable example is the NAACP in Brown v. Board of Education. Another approach is through amicus curiae briefs. These friend-of-the-court briefs provide expertise and aim to persuade judges on cases affecting their interests. Now, mobilizing public opinion. Media campaigns are often employed, running advertisements, social media campaigns and public awareness initiatives. Protests and demonstrations are also key tactics, organizing rallies, marches and strikes to pressure policymakers. Grassroots movements encourage citizens to take action through petitions, letters and phone calls. Moving on to influencing bureaucracy and regulations. Interest groups play a role in the rulemaking process, working with bureaucratic agencies to shape how laws are implemented. There's also the concept of iron triangles and issue networks. These are close relationships between interest groups, congressional committees, and bureaucratic agencies, all working together to shape policy. Finally, let's discuss the positive and negative effects of interest groups on policy outcomes. On the positive side, they represent diverse interests in a democracy, provide expertise and research to policymakers, and encourage civic participation and political engagement. However, there are negative effects too. Interest groups can promote elite influence, as wealthy groups may have disproportionate power. There's also the risk of capture, where regulatory agencies prioritize industry interests over the public good. Additionally, they can spread misinformation or biased information to manipulate public opinion. In our examination of interest group influence, let's delve into the case of the National Rifle Association, or NRA. This organization employs a combination of lobbying, campaign contributions, and grassroots mobilization to shape gun policy in the United States. The NRA has been particularly impactful in blocking gun control legislation, showcasing the significant power and reach of well-organized interest groups. The American Association of Retired Persons, or AARP, advocates for Social Security and Medicare benefits for senior citizens. They use extensive lobbying and public outreach to pressure Congress. The Sierra Club promotes environmental policies and opposes deregulation of environmental protections. They use lawsuits, lobbying, and grassroots activism to shape policies. Let's go over some key terms to know. Lobbying, PACs and super PACs, Iron Triangle, Issue Network, Revolving Door, Amicus Curiae Brief, and grassroots mobilization. Now, let's discuss how interest groups fit into AP Gov Exam Topics. First, linkage institutions. Interest groups connect citizens to government. Next, separation of powers. Interest groups lobby all three branches. Then, campaign finance PACs, super PACs, and the Citizens United decision. Finally, public policy formation, the role of bureaucracies, Congress and courts.